In 1974, a man named Robert Monroe, a former intelligence officer working on classified remote viewing experiments, made a discovery so unsettling that the US government abruptly shut down his research. Monroe, founder of the Monroe Institute, claimed he had contacted non-physical entities during his out-of-body explorations. These entities revealed something humanity has never wanted to believe: we are not at the top of the food chain. We are livestock. And the farm we live on has been operational for thousands of years, harvesting not our bodies, but something far more valuable: our emotional energy. They called it Loosh. Before you dismiss this as another wild conspiracy, consider this: ancient Gnostic texts, written over 2,000 years ago, described an almost identical system. They, too, spoke of unseen rulers, parasitic beings they called the Archons. So the question is not whether you believe this. The question is, why does human suffering seem so deliberately designed? Why do the same painful cycles repeat through your life: fear, heartbreak, anger, despair, as if someone wanted you to feel them again and again? And why, in moments of deep anguish or terror, do you sometimes sense something feeding on it? Robert Monroe was not a mystic, not a cultist, not a man chasing fantasies. He was a successful broadcasting executive, rational, pragmatic, grounded in science. But in the 1950s, Monroe began experiencing spontaneous out-of-body experiences that terrified him. Doctors found nothing wrong. So, he did what any logical man would do: he documented everything. Those records became the foundation of his later research, and they eventually drew the attention of the US intelligence community. The Monroe Institute was quietly funded to explore human consciousness officially for remote viewing experiments. But Monroe went much further. In deep, trance-like states, he reported traveling beyond the physical plane into dimensions inhabited by intelligent entities. What they showed him would shake him to his core. He saw Earth as a vast energy farm, with humans as the crop. These entities harvested our emotional energy, what Monroe called Loosh, emitted during our most intense emotional experiences. Fear, rage, grief, even religious ecstasy. All of it released a kind of energetic radiation invisible to us, but precious in their dimension. According to Monroe's records, these beings cultivated humanity specifically for this purpose. We are biological generators producing a substance more valuable to them than gold or diamonds are to us. What made Monroe's discovery chilling was not the idea itself, but his reluctant acceptance of it. He wrote in his journals, "I am a scientist. What I've found defies explanation. I wish I could dismiss it, but the consistency across hundreds of sessions makes that impossible." So what exactly is Loosh? In simple terms, it's concentrated emotional energy, converted into a harvestable frequency. Your physical body metabolizes food into energy. Your emotional body metabolizes experience into radiation through feeling. When you suffer, when you love, when you despair, you emit energy into unseen realms. And here's the disturbing part: negative emotions produce exponentially more Loosh than positive ones. Fear is rich. Despair is potent. Rage burns brightest in their spectrum. Even sexual energy, when mixed with shame or guilt, becomes a delicacy to them. It's not random. It's crop management. Modern science, unknowingly, brushes up against this mystery. Emotions create measurable electromagnetic fields. The HeartMath Institute has proven that our emotional states influence quantum-level energy patterns. Experiments show random number generators become less random during intense emotional events. Consciousness affects reality. And what can be measured can be harvested. But Monroe was not the first to uncover this cosmic economy. 2,000 years earlier, the Gnostics, the mystics of early Christianity, described the same reality. They wrote of the Archons, parasitic rulers of this material world, feeding on human suffering. Their leader, the demiurge, masqueraded as God, demanding worship while trapping divine sparks of consciousness inside flesh. When the early church rose to power, it labeled these teachings heresy and burned every trace of them. Because the Gnostics were telling humanity something profoundly dangerous: that suffering was not divine punishment. It was harvest. Buddhist, Hindu, and shamanic traditions echo the same pattern: hungry ghosts, anti-gods, spirit parasites feeding on emotion. Across continents and centuries, cultures that never met all describe the same thing. If Earth is a farm, then suffering is the irrigation system. Our bodies are designed to feel intensely. Our minds remember pain vividly, ensuring the suffering continues long after the event. We love deeply, so that loss devastates us completely. We imagine endlessly suffering from events that never even happen. And between lifetimes, memory is erased so every heartbreak feels like the first. The crop remains fresh. Reincarnation, then, may not be spiritual evolution. It may be soul recycling. The Gnostics said the Archons were created by the demiurge, artificial, soulless beings, unable to generate their own life force. They cannot create. They can only imitate and feed. Humanity, on the other hand, carries the spark of the true source real consciousness. That makes us both the threat and the sustenance of these entities. We generate naturally what they desperately need to survive. That is why they manipulate. That is why they deceive. And that is why they hide. Because if you remember who you are, if you awaken to your divine origin, you vibrate beyond their reach. To maintain the harvest, they built systems of control, institutions engineered for emotional output. Religion to generate guilt and fear. Government to create oppression and anxiety. Economy to ensure survival, stress and competition. Media to flood consciousness with violence and despair. Every level of society is optimized for maximum loosh production. Poverty breeds hopelessness. Wealth breeds paranoia. And in between, the middle class lives in perpetual worry. Even education trains obedience, not wisdom. Medicine manages symptoms, not causes. Entertainment glorifies pain, shame, and emptiness. We have mistaken the harvest system for civilization itself. But there is a way out. The Archons' power depends entirely on our unconscious participation. They thrive on ignorance, because parasites can only feed unnoticed. Awareness itself begins to starve them. When you see the mechanism, you weaken it. Have you ever felt drained for no reason, trapped in looping thoughts, or watched your emotions spiral beyond your control? That is not always you. That is the harvest. But when you observe your emotions instead of identifying with them, when you feel without feeding the frenzy, the energy no longer radiates outward. It stays with you. It integrates. You become energetically sovereign. This is what the Archons fear most, humans who no longer broadcast suffering. They can't consume genuine love. They can't process true joy. These frequencies exist beyond their spectrum. That's why they work so hard to keep you in fear, shame, anger, or hopelessness, just low enough to feed them, but high enough to stay alive. The escape isn't war. It's vibration. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, compassion over resentment, creativity over despair, you rise beyond their reach. You unplug from the system. Awareness is alchemy. It transforms the harvest into healing. It turns fear into insight, pain into power, suffering into strength. The Archons cannot stop that process because it is the essence of consciousness itself. The moment you remember what you are, a fragment of infinite source, their dominion ends. This is the hidden truth Robert Monroe stumbled upon, and what ancient mystics risked their lives to preserve, that humanity is not cursed, only asleep. And when we awaken, the farm dissolves like mist in sunlight. So ask yourself, how much of your pain is truly yours? And how much was designed to be harvested? The choice to awaken is yours. It always has been. And the moment enough of us remember, the harvest ends forever. You are not meant to suffer. You are meant to remember.